Okay, so simplify or evaluate each power. We always want to simplify without a calculator as much as possible. Very few of these are calculator questions. What do we do when we have a power to a power? Multiply them. Okay, multiply them. So x exponent negative 2 times 3 over x exponent 3 times negative 2. That equals x negative 6 over x negative 6. What do we do when we're dividing the same base? Subtract. So we have x as our base, negative 6 minus negative 6. What does that equal? All right. Negative 6 plus 6, x 0. What does it equal? 1. Okay. Something pretty complicated, simplified to something pretty simple. Number 2. Look at your numbers separately. Okay, so 6 and 14, write that as a fraction, put in the lowest terms. Divide them both by the GCF. Okay, so divide by 2 and get 3. Divide by 2 and get 7. Now, since we're dividing x, and we're going to subtract 4 minus 1. Divide your y's, so subtract negative 3 minus 2. So what are the new exponents on the x and the y? 3, negative 5. Good. Are we done? Nope. You can never leave a negative exponent. You have to correct the negative sign. So x cubed stays, y goes to the bottom. Okay. Questions? Ask your questions. These are all grade 9 rules, but we have to apply them to some more harder numbers, right? We have negative signs, double signs, but we're just doing the same 3 simple rules. Okay. No questions? Okay, next one then. Good. So, how about we simplify this one first? And you can do that first, or you can multiply in if you wanted. Multiply in. Okay, so your exponents will be all multiplied. Doesn't matter which one you want to do first. You guys tell me. We will let Arch decide. Pick one. Multiply in first. You want to do that? Sure, no problem. What I recommend though, yeah, that might get a little weird. Let's do, let's simplify first, because I think that'll be easier for this situation. Because otherwise you're going to get 2 to the 1/2 on the bottom. And it's kind of the question is, well, what do we do with that one? Okay. You could do it. Don't laugh at me. You could do it. Sorry, Arsh. Okay. It's because later I realized, so as soon as I thought about multiplying it in, I thought, 2 exponent 1 times 1/2 will give you 2 to the 1/2. That sucks. Let's not do it. Okay? So I opened my big fat mouth before I had a closer look. Remember, I'm trying to think and talk at the same time. That's hard. Okay. Let's simplify first. 50 divided by 2, what is that? 25. 25, and there's an exponent 1/2 on the outside. That's easy stuff. Okay, next. What about the x? What do you do when you divide the same bases? Good, so 2 minus 4, negative 2. What's the exponent on the y? 3 minus 7, negative 4. All to the exponent 1/2. Okay. Let's give 25 a facelift. So 1/2 on the outside, what should 25 be then? 5 to the exponent 2. X negative 2, y negative 4. Okay. Okay. Now we're ready to multiply in. So multiply the exponents. Each one must be multiplied by a half. So what's 2 times a half? Okay. So 2 times a half is 1. Negative 2 times a half, negative 1. And on the y, we have negative 4 times a half. Negative 4 times a half cancels, negative 2. So negative 2 is the answer. Boy, fix your answer. One more step, no negative exponents. Five over xy squared. Final answer. Okay. Okay. Next one. Okay. So, do your divisions. 12 over 3, that's a nice answer. That would be 4. What's the exponent on the x? Negative 5 minus negative 1/2. Right, you're dividing, so you need to subtract. Same thing with the y. 5 over 2 minus negative 1/2. All right, fix those now. Find the exponents on the x and the y. Don't use your calculator. Okay, so what I would do is I'd fix my signs and say that's negative 5 plus 1/2. And this is 5 over 1/2 plus 1/2. So this one here is going to be negative 4.5. Right? If you have, like, you owe someone $5 and you pay them back 50 cents, now you only owe $4.50. Here, 5.5 plus, sorry, 5 over 2 plus 1 over 2 would be 6 over 2. Okay, that's nice. Okay, so let's correct it then. The 4 stays on top. It has no negative exponents. What about the x? It goes to the bottom, and then we get positive 4.5. What about the y? Stays, and 6 divided by 2? 3. Okay. The only other thing I'd recommend would be what? How you turn 4.5 into a mixed fraction, improper fraction. What is that?
2 times 4 plus 1.
Good. 2 times 4, which is 8. 8 plus 1, 9 over 2. Okay. So 4 times 2 equals 8, plus 1 equals 9. So you have to convert your fraction.
Can you just write 4.5?
No, I wouldn't go to a decimal. No, because if you're going to do more math with it, like higher level math, Chris, the first thing you have to do is go to a fraction. Okay. I probably would I mark it wrong? Not necessarily, but I don't think you'd find any multiple choice answers like that. Okay. Any questions? Okay. Now we're going to get into some trickier ones with some numbers. Always apply exponent rules when possible. First of all, we have a power to a power. What are we supposed to do here? Alec? Power to a power? Good. So multiply your exponents. Over here, same deal. So write your base in brackets. Don't change that. Just fix the exponent on the outside. So this would then be negative 6. And this would be negative 20. Okay. Let's fix our exponents. So fix your exponents. Now I know we're going to need more space, so just kind of shift it over to the left a little bit, okay? Fix your negative exponents, please. So now it's a positive 6 and a positive 20. And you should have a negative sign, 5 over 4, and negative 5 over 4. Good. What are we doing with the two bases that are the same? What's the sign in the middle? Division. So what should we do here? Subtract. Okay. So write this your base in brackets, and it'll be 6 minus 20, which equals negative 14. Oh, negative exponent. What should we do? Flip it. So now it's going to be negative 4 over 5 to positive 14. One last step. Final answer, you should not have any brackets. So when we remove brackets, when we move brackets, what do we do with our negative sign? Does it stay or does it go? And why? And I'll give you a hint, it's an even exponent. So even exponent means, yeah, good, so it's positive. Okay. Now the back of the book might not like this so much. They might just change this to positive 4 over 5 in brackets with a 14. I don't like that, okay? Okay, I'd like you to get rid of brackets completely. However, just be in mind, they will correct the negative sign, or they should at least. Okay? All right. Questions? Next one. Here we go. Here's the multiplication. Do the multiplication. Go. Oh, by the way, there's a negative sign here. If you can't see it, it's negative 1/4. Okay. So what do we do when we multiply? We add. So 5 over 4 plus negative 1/4. What are we left with? 5 minus 1 be 4 over 4. Okay. Let's not change that yet, because now what we should do is divide. What do we do when we divide the same base? Subtract. So 9 exponent 4 over 4 minus 3 over 4. That equals 9 exponent 1 over 4. Okay. Can we simplify 9 with a quarter? Is there anything that we can do to change it? Right, so anything to the exponent 4 equals 9? No. Okay, so we're done. So that's our final answer. Always check that though, always check it. Okay. What do you notice about difference between 6 and 7? Addition. So you don't have any exponent rules when you have an addition. Okay. So for this one, what we can do to break this down with our exponent rules is we can break this fraction into two separate fractions. Okay. The denominator stays the same, and we split it up, work backwards. So what this allows us to do is it allows us to simplify the left and the right. I screwed that up and wrote wrong exponent. It should be 3 exponent. Okay. So this works out to be 1 over here. What's 3/6 divided by 3/8? 6 minus 8. 3 negative 2 plus 1. So sometimes you can leave it. Okay. So some people may say, hey, 3/6 over 3/8, that equals 1 over 3 squared. Okay. So what we have is we have 1/9 plus 1, which is 1 1/9. 1/9 plus 1, 1 1/9. Convert it to an improper fraction, please. Okay, so convert it to an improper. Ten over 9. Any questions? Talking about skills, this is a great skill to have. Okay, especially if you're doing pre-calc, because you do that all the time. Take your fraction and work backwards. That's like 3 over 4 plus 5 over 4. That equals 3 plus 5 over 4. This is how you're supposed to understand addition. And now in grade 10, we're saying work backwards. Okay? That's essentially what you're doing. That's why you should never use the calculator. Ever. Okay. This is an honors question number 8. Any questions, though, before I turn the page? Anything? Anything whatsoever. Ask, ask, ask. Anyone? Yeah. Brittany? Oh, okay. So this one here, that's going to be 8 minus 8, which is 3 exponent 0, which equals 1. But you can see it's like the same thing being divided. So it's like 5 divided by 5 equals 1. So 3 8 divided by 3 8 equals 1. Okay? Good question. Any others? Okay. More honor stuff, just some more harder ones. You should be able to do 10, but we're not going to go over it. Okay. This is important though. Okay. So, evaluate each expression for the given values. Hint, simplify first. So if you can simplify, you want to do it. Okay. This one you can't simplify because of the subtraction. And use brackets. Okay, when you substitute in, use brackets. That's usually where we go wrong. So for us, it's going to be 2 times x negative 1. So it should be 2 over x to the positive 1 minus y squared to the exponent 2. Okay. Substitute in and solve. See what you can do. Okay, substitute and solve. I'm going to give you a second. Go. Feel free to use your calculator on the last step if you want, because it's a really big number. Okay. After you've given it your best shot, then have a look up. And don't copy it, just go to your mistake, fix it, and try and keep working. Okay, don't just copy what I have. It's horrible. Worst thing you could do.